The killers in Forsaken are one of the main roles in the game. Your objective is to kill all survivors within a certain amount of time in order to win. The survivors need to do generators to lower the time while avoiding the killer in order to win. There's 4 different killers to choose from, each having unique abilities and different playstyles. In this video, I will be reviewing their unique abilities and special tactics while giving them a rating of 0 to 10 red top hats. And at the end, I will decide which is the best one. So smash that like button and subscribe, and let's get started. First, we have Jason, which is a free character with a 2-star difficulty. It has 4 different abilities along with a passive ability. His walk speed is 9 and his running speed is 28. The passive ability is called Mute, which makes Jason's terror radius smaller. This means his music starts when he's closer compared to other killers. With this in mind, it's a lot easier to sneak up on people. The first ability is the Slash with a 1.9 second cooldown. It deals 20 damage to survivors and applies bleed 1 for 5 seconds. However, the Slash has piercing, meaning you can hit multiple survivors at once. This makes body blocking less effective for survivors and gives Jason better crowd control. It also has a pretty long reach, so take advantage of that. The next ability is Behead with an 18.5 second cooldown. When used, it lunges Jason, creating a horizontal swing dealing 20 damage. It gives Jason slowness 1 for 2 seconds, but gives survivors helpless for 12 seconds, which disables their abilities. This is incredibly useful, especially against survivors like Guest, because then they temporarily can't block your attacks. It's also useful for 007 and 7 because then he can't clone himself and catch you off guard. The third ability is Gashing Wound with a 40-second cooldown. Jason uses a combination of slashes on a singular survivor, which deals 50 damage in total. This ability can hit multiple survivors like the others, but this makes it easy for guests to get a free block from you during the animation. This ability is very hard to land on moving survivors, so use it on people who are standing still. The best times are on generators or when a sentinel missed their stun. And the last ability is Raging Pace with a 30-second cooldown. This ability enrages Jason, seen by the glowing eye. His walk speed goes from 9 to 19.5 and the aura to the nearest survivor is revealed while still enraged. This state grants complete stun immunity, but also disables sprinting. Your stamina regenerates to around 90, but then goes down to 70. All abilities also gain small damage buffs and cooldown nerfs if used during Raging Pace. Using any ability disables the Raging Pace, but the Slash also lunges you unlike the others. Otherwise, it naturally ends after 14 seconds. Raging Pace is very good for finding survivors or regaining stamina during a chase. You can also use it to avoid stuns, but this only works when the glowing eye appears. With that being said, Jason is a very powerful killer, but it is also melee only. This makes him very reliant on targeting for kills and needs great stamina management. Jason also struggles against competent teams and support survivors. With that in mind, I'm giving this killer 8.5 out of 10 red top hats. It's really good, but requires a lot of skill and struggles against good teams. Next up, we have Cool Kid, which costs $900 with a 3-star difficulty. It has 4 different abilities, but no passive ability. His walk speed is 7.5 25 and his running speed is 28. The first ability is Punch with a 2-second cooldown. It deals 26.5 damage to survivors and doesn't do anything else. The second ability is Corrupt Nature with a 12-second cooldown. This ability launches a projectile to the cursor, which is able to go through walls. It deals 15 damage to survivors and applies slowness 1 for 4 seconds. It also reveals their aura for 10 seconds. The projectile pierces survivors as well and is the only ability to do so. This ability is very good for reaching players on high ground or trying to hit a player during a chase. The third ability is Walk Speed Override with a 20-second cooldown. Cool Kid winds up for 0.55 seconds and lunges for 1.34 seconds with 90 speed, but ramming into walls stops this ability earlier. It deals 30 damage to survivors but also applies Burning 1 for 8 seconds. This deals 45 damage in total, with the burn dealing 15 damage. Survivors also get heavily knocked back but also get a lot of slowness for 0.25 seconds. While this is technically a ranged attack, it shouldn't be used like that. Only use this when you're relatively close to a survivor, because this is very easy to dodge from far away and it's a free block for guest. The fourth ability is Pizza Delivery with a 50-second cooldown. It spawns 2 pizza bots which walk to the nearest survivor. This is very useful for finding people, but they walk pretty slowly. Each bot deals 15 damage and applies Burning 1 along with slowness 2 for 3 seconds. While the burn only deals 5 damage, the slowness is incredibly useful along with the fact that the survivor's aura is revealed for 15 seconds. With that being said, Cool Kid is a good killer, all the abilities are super good, but there's one problem. Because the pizza bots walk so slowly, it's much harder to find people. This is a big problem in Last Man Standing, where the survivor could be across the map, so you need to manually search the direction the bots are going in order to not waste much time. With that in mind, I'm giving this killer 8 out of 10 red top hats. It can be really good, but can also struggle quite a lot. Next up, we have John Doe, which costs $1,000 with a 5-star difficulty. It has 4 different abilities with 2 passive abilities. His walk speed is 9.5 and his running speed is 27.25. The first passive ability is Natural Malevolence, which makes John Doe have a trail following him. Any survivor that steps into it gets corrupted 2 for 3 seconds, which deals 7 damage in total. The second passive is called Unstoppable and applies a 2-second stun limit. This only applies when winding up the second ability and the fourth ability. After John Doe is unstunned, he gets speed 1 for 2.5 seconds, which increases by 1 second for every sentinel on the team. The first ability is Slash with a 1.75 second cooldown. It deals 28 damage to survivors but also has a small windup. This makes it a little easier to block with guest. The second ability is Corrupt Energy with an 18-second cooldown. John Doe spawns 26 giant spikes in front of him, which last for 14 seconds. Each spike deals 12 damage to a survivor and gives speed 1 for 7 seconds to John Doe. You can aim these spikes by turning, but a survivor can only be hit by up to 4 of them. Unstoppable applies when John Doe winds up, but not when spikes spawn. This is great for heavy damage or even trapping players in specific spots. The third ability is Digital Footprint with an 8-second cooldown. John Doe stomps the ground and puts a shadow on it, which is a trap. This gives survivors corrupted 1 and slowness 2 for 10 seconds and gives John Doe speed 1 for 10 seconds. The corruption deals 19 damage in total, and the survivor and John Doe both see each other's auras for 10 seconds. You can only have 3 traps at once, but each one despawns after 165 seconds, which is a really long time. This ability is crazy good, since you can close off very powerful areas and even generators. The fourth ability is 404 Error with a 20-second cooldown. This reveals all survivors on the map for 4 seconds. John Doe also has Unstoppable while starting this ability. With that being said, John Doe is an amazing killer. The digital footprint can make maps much easier, and the corrupt energy can deal a lot of damage. The only problem with this killer is that it struggles in chases a little bit because it has no abilities for chases. With that in mind, I'm giving this killer 9.5 out of 10 red top hats. It has really good gameplay but requires good skill to be rewarding. Next up, we have 1x1x1x1, which costs $1,100 with a 4-star difficulty. It has 5 different abilities with 1 passive ability. Its walk speed is 8 and its running speed is 27, making it the slowest killer in the game. The passive ability is Parasitic, which makes the first 2 abilities apply glitched and poisoned to a certain degree. Glitched fills the survivor's screen with particles and makes them take 33% more damage per tier. If you turn on epilepsy mode in the settings, the glitchy screen goes away. Poisoned makes you take 2 damage per second, and each debuff tier increases the damage and tick rate. The first ability is Slash with a 1.75 second cooldown. It deals 20 damage to survivors and applies glitched 1 and poisoned 1 for 5 seconds. The poison deals 8 total damage, but the debuffs can stack up to 3 tiers, meaning the Slash can deal 40 damage with glitch free, which is incredible. This ability also has a small wind up. The second ability is Mass Infection with a 14-second cooldown. 1x winds up and sends a massive projectile dealing 35 damage and applies glitched 1 along with poisoned 1. This ability has a heavy wind up, making it very noticeable to survivors. Up close you can deal damage with your swords, which apply poisoned 5 and glitched 3. The Mass Infection now deals 63.3 damage with the swords and projectile. That's 75 total damage with the poison. The swords count as a melee attack, meaning the guest can block them. But because this is mainly ranged, survivors can dodge it easily, meaning you need to aim very well. It also creates a loud noise, so this isn't very stealthy and you cannot aim it up or down. But this ability is still great for heavy damage, even for multiple survivors. The third ability is Entanglement with an 18-second cooldown. It deals 10 damage to survivors and the survivor gets stuck and needs to complete a minigame. Once you close all windows on your screen you can move again, but survivors also get helpless for 10 seconds, making their abilities useless. 1x gets speed 2 for 3 seconds if they hit someone, but survivors get speed 1 for 1.25 seconds once escaping the minigame. The projectile travels faster than Mass Infection and it doesn't make any loud noise. This is great for stopping players before using Mass Infection. You still cannot aim this up or down, but it is able to pierce people. The fourth ability is Unstable Eye with a 25-second cooldown. This reveals all survivors on the map for about 5 seconds, but gains blindness 3 and speed 1 for 6.5 seconds. This ability is not only good for seeing people, but can be used for speed in a chase. However, because your screen is very blurry, it's easy to lose people, and it also creates a loud noise. The fifth ability is Rejuvenate the Rotten with a 200-second cooldown. This ability resurrects all dead survivors as minions, with each minion dealing 14 damage. This requires at least 1 kill, but it's recommended to have at least 4 kills before using it. You're able to see the minions permanently and they don't despawn at any time. They can be killed by survivors, but you're able to kill them to get speed 1 for 10 seconds. The speed stacks to speed 3, which is really useful mid-chase. You can also snipe the minions with your projectiles for the speed, but if you don't have many kills, then this ability sucks. With that being said, 1x is a decent killer. All of the ranged abilities are very powerful, but they're super easy to dodge. 1x is also the slowest killer, so chases without ranged attacks are really difficult. The minions can be very annoying for survivors and help a lot in chases. With that in mind, I'm giving this killer 7 out of 10 red top hats. It does great damage, but is incredibly predictable. But the winner for me is John Doe. I like this killer because you can close off powerful areas with traps. The traps also deal a lot of damage and give a nice speed boost. This killer works for a lot of maps as well, and you can also trap campers with your spikes. It's hard to use at first, but I'd recommend you try it out because it is just really good. But that's it for this video. Comment below if you agree with me or not and which one is your favorite. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.